It's a great day to paint a pine cone. Why a pine cone, you might ask? Well, it's a week before Christmas and you haven't got your Christmas cards out, so let's quick paint some. Who wouldn't love to receive a homemade card with a pine cone? So these are easy and there's a little trick to it. I'm going to look at a pine cone. First of all, go out for a walk in the woods and find a pine cone and enjoy the silhouette of it. And then bring it back in and we're going to mix up a dark brown pine cone collar. I've got some, I'm just going to swirl around everything I've got here in the corner of my palette to make a dark brown. That's looking pretty good right there. It's made primarily of burnt sienna and purple, maybe a little blue in there. I'm getting it to be about the consistency of cream. It's thick. Not like tea, and I'm going to put on this thicker consistency in the shape of my pine cone, and the shape being important about just the silhouette. Watch us just do, it's pretty much filled in the middle. It could be a lot of different colors, doesn't have to be exactly what I've done. I'm just looking for dark brown. You might even have something like burnt umber on your palette, got your brown already to go. So I'm going to make a pine cone this way. I'm going to fill it all in and just watch the edges that it becomes an interesting shape. Now, as that sets up just a little bit, I'm going to take a tool, and I've got some choices here of different tools. It could be the end of a brush that has a chisel on it. It could be, this is a key from a canvas, just a little piece of wood. This is a thinner piece of wood. It's actually made from, I think, a dollhouse shingle. You could find those at any craft store. So just before the shine leaves the watercolor, if I tip this up, you can see that it's still shiny wet, but it's not puddly, it's not dry, it's just shiny. I'm going to take that piece of wood and I'm going to scrape in and wipe off, and see, it's a little bit too wet. If it's too wet, it'll fill back in, and I can try a different tool. I'm going to hold it down low and scrape away. Still just a little bit wet. Still too wet. Might have to let it dry a little bit. And it's funny how some areas will dry and some areas will stay wet. But it's pretty cold out here in Colorado today, and I'm going to let that dry just a little bit more. So while it's drying, I'm going to make another pine cone up here, because I know that it will take some time for it to dry. And I like to have a couple of shapes pointing different directions, just for interest. And here where they line up, I'm going to make it just a little different in color. I'm adding some blue to it here, so it looks like it's darker. To make your brown darker, add either a blue or purple to it. Maybe we'll let them even kind of blend into each other there. And it's holding its shape, so let's try it again here. I'm going to take this thicker piece of wood. We'll try different things. That's a little absorbent, so it kind of scoops up the paint. And what I'm doing is lifting off these little round edges of the pine cone. And what it looks like I've taken a lot of time and painted around them, like negative painting. But this is much quicker, and it looks like I spent all day painting around these little pine cone intricacies. And look at that, it's magic. There we go. I've kind of done them like fish scales where they stagger, you notice? But if in doubt, take a look at your actual pine cone. It'll tell you the answers to everything. What does a pine cone look at? Just observe. Scrape. There's kind of a magic time that you find to do the scraping technique. and it takes a little practice to find that correct time. But once you do, this works great. And you have to hurry, because if it dries, you won't get anything. If it's too puddly wet, you won't get anything. It's like that magic time that salt works. There is definitely a magic time to get all these little tricks. The wood, you can see it absorb the color. It really helps to lift those little areas. There we go. We got 2 pine cones. Now look, I got my hand in there and I've made a mess, and you might think, oh no, she's ruined it. But I tell you what, we can fix anything. People will tell you you can't fix anything in watercolor, but that's just not true. We could mix up some pine green color. This is green from a color called sap green, and who knows what else. You can make any kind of green with blue and yellow. You don't have to have the exact color or paint that I have. And I'm going to take it and put it right over top where I smeared it, and you will never know that's what I did. Look at that. If I put this on thick, I could scrape some pine needles into this too, which might be kind of neat. If I want it a little darker, I can go over here and get a little bit of blue in there. I like to have a variety of colors, not just one color when I paint. More is more in this case. If we want it to be Christmassy, real Christmassy, you could embellish it a little bit. Maybe we'll make some, we'll get some red here. I changed my mind. I had some of that and now I've got some of this. Maybe we'll put some little holly berries in there. I'll leave a little stripe there. And that'll look like this, it's getting a little reflection. And before it dries, I'll rinse out my brush and pick a darker red. This is, first of all, I used like a Pyrrole red light, and now I'm going to put in an alizarin crimson on the shadow side. I'm letting the water mix that real quick. And we'll resume making a few more pine needles. I'm painting on a greeting card made by Strathmore, and it has a fold right down the center here. So this part will go around the back of the card, and I kind of like to do that. There's a little surprise when you fold the card on the back. And if you want to, after this is dry, you can mix up just a little bit darker brown. Like I've got some purple and I added it to my brown, and I've made quite a dark color. I can go in here and put some details, and you can fix it up just as detailed as you like, making it look dark, and make each one of those kind of go back and make a little triangle. Take a look at your pine cone. It'll tell you what to do. The more time you spend with it, the better it'll get. But on the other hand, having just a little symbol of a pine cone quickly is just fine. So when I get all done, I fold my card. I might sign it on the back. And I always say that it's a hand-painted watercolor card, which is nice. This could be your gift. Or you could tie it to a package. I add an envelope, and the envelopes come with the cards when you buy packs of these from Strathmore. And I put it together in a nice little bag. You can get these bags at clearbags.com. You peel off the little peel and stick strip do that, you've got a gift for somebody right there. That's pretty neat. I've been using Qor watercolor today, Q-O-R, quality of results, and they are just as bright as they are when they dry as when I put them on. Beautiful, aren't they? And that's about all the products we got here. Been using my Zen brushes from Royal, and if you ever need to find any of these products, go to my website, showcaseartcenter.com, and or instant message me, leave a comment, subscribe to the page, and I'll make sure that we get them for you. The bags are like 10 cents, not a big deal to ship you some. So there you go. Have fun and make some Christmas cards of your own.